Hi everybody, doing a little tour of Tombstone today. Right now we're going down into the Goodenough mine, the original mine here in Tombstone. They brought all the silver mining boom to the town in the late 1800s. It's a 45-minute walking tour. It's just 60 steps down, 60 steps out, about 150 feet underground. We've done the Birdcage Theatre this morning, which they asked that you not show anything on YouTube or Facebook or anything, so maybe just an outside picture of that, but that's a very interesting place.
A lot of history in there. Get downstairs, look under the stage.
Yeah, someplace you got to go if you ever come into Tombstone. You know, you're walking in the steps of Wyatt Earp and all those famous people, because that's the only building still original to the town. There's been fires that's burned everything else down.
The town's burned down twice. The only original building to the town.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. Lots of information about the people of the town, everything from the bordello, the prostitutes, to the gamblers.
The original bullet hole.
Yeah. It's the site of the longest running poker game. 3 days something. Is that right?
18 years.
18 years. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go on down. We'll take you along with us. The original entrance to the Goodenough mine.
One and only powered machinery called a steam mule. Now this here isn't the original steam mule. It's actually considered a newer model, or at least it was a newer model back then. If I can get all the little ones up front, I'm talking about the kids, not the short people. Now up here, left right here, is the backside of that discovery hole. Like I said, it was the original entrance. Now those miners would crawl through that hole right there, make their way down the mines over here. Those muckers carrying a 70 to 100 pound burlap sack of ore would crawl up out of the mine, climb a ladder just like that there, bringing that ore to the surface. Back, the sides are called the ribs. If it went up, it was a rise. If it came down, it was called a winze. Now, like I said earlier, a rise is a one-way street. Well, so is a winze. A winze is the opposite, though. A winze, you'll have stuff being thrown down it, never being pulled up it. We came down, it was called an incline shaft, and a tunnel is called a drift. Now, the floor of the mine is called the belly, but since you decided to wear flip-flops today, I'm going to be picking on you to be the one who answers the quiz at the end. But I'm also going to show you guys some minor, what looks like to be graffiti, but actually these are navigational tools for miners. Now you have a red X like you see right here above you guys. Now a red X above a drift means it was either dangerous or a dead end. A red O means a way out. Now if you went down this drift right here with this red X, you go about 100 feet, come to a 300-foot drop. You go down this drift right here about 20 to 30 feet, you come to a smaller hole, we have to get down and crawl, and eventually you would end up in our Tough Nut mine. All of our mines are connected together, which allows the airflow down here being 68 degrees year-round. Now you can go from the Goodenough mine to the Tough Nut, from the Tough Nut to the Gerard without coming above ground once. But above us right here, this drift runs underneath Allen Street to the Crystal Palace Saloon basement. Back in 1965, some high school kids figured this out, figured they'd raid the liquor cabinet. Now they figured out how they were getting in there, barricaded it up. It ruined it for the rest of us here today. So if you are above ground later and you meet some of those locals and they're bragging about how they raided the liquor cabinet, tell them I said thanks a lot. Correct. This is silver chloride mixed with manganese oxide. This right here makes up 97% of silver mined today. But behind you folks right here, this is called gobbing or cribbing. Miners did this for two reasons. One, it would help clear the waste rock out of their walkway, and two, help support the back of the mine. Now what they would do is they'd take these rocks, interlock them together to form a strong pillar. Now these rocks are being held up by nothing but the rocks themselves, so as you walk by today, I like to ask people not to play rock Jenga with them. You're going to notice spots like I have off to our right over here that only go up halfway. The reason why is because they figured out this is hard rock silver mining. They didn't need to do this for any more added support because it's pretty structurally sound as it is down here. In fact, we had an earthquake that had happened in Mexico. The aftershock was felt here in Tombstone. It was strong enough to rattle the bottles off the shelves, and the miners underground had no clue it had happened until they came above ground and were told about it. Now these rocks here have been here since the miners have placed them here. This wasn't a naturally formed cave or cavern underground. Everything you've walked through and will walk through on our mine tour today was once solid rock. The reason why it's all open now is because it was all silver. If it wasn't silver, they left it alone. Now see, this mine was open for 20 years, from 1878 through 1898. So imagine how long it took them working with what they had to get a room this size. Now there was a second way of drilling down here. It's called double jacking. Double jacking is effective for two reasons. One, you get a foot deeper in the size of the mine. Two, it's a two-man team. Each guy's got 3 candles. Now you have enough candlelight for your full shift. One miner's job was to hold this like this, while his buddy swung an 8-pound sledgehammer as hard as he could at it. All he had to do, turn it quarter turn in between each hit. Now when he got tired of taking a beating, he'd wait for that hit, slide his hand up over the end, cover the shiny spot. If his partner couldn't see the shiny spot on the back reflecting their candlelight, he knew not to swing. If he did swing, well, you have a little minor surgery. It is minor surgery. Yep, what I showed you guys earlier was low grade. This was a high grade that those miners were really after. There's more silver in this, so it's going to be worth more to it.
Gotcha.
This one right here. You see marks left over from the
That is.
What percentage?
Yeah, of actual silver.
I would have to actually break this out, send it to an assay office, and then they'll...
Folks, it looks like I had a video fail at the end of the tour. Our guide gave us a lot of information before we left the mine, a lot of good history of the area and of the mining industry in the area, and I just failed to get it recorded. It is a good tour, very worthwhile taking it if you ever get into town. Tombstone is just a nice place to visit, lots to do there, whether you like doing tours or if you like going to restaurants or bars or anything like that. There's also a lot of hiking, there's the jeeping that you can do out in the desert. Just a really nice little town. We'll be showing you some more in some other videos. I hope you'll come along with us because we sure do like sharing it with you. And as always, let's keep rolling.